Hello, this is Vance, and this is Wednesday, January the 25th, 2017. These are the CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. Today's the DOE report. It was out today, and so you know what that means. Sometimes we get a tight trading range, and there was no difference today. So you have to always be careful and cautious about tight trading range days because of the DOE report. That's what we had. But not a lot of trades. Again, that really it cuts off the middle of the day, so that's have to be cautious about. So the open was down here at 9:09. This is 9 o'clock right here. This is where 9 o'clock is, right there. Right, that little bar there, a little bear bar, that was 9 o'clock. This is pre-market. This is roughly 8:02, 8 o'clock here. And the overnight, which was at about, well, like as soon as price opened last night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I guess it was, 2:25. Price got to a high of 53.09, traded down to 52.57. So we're looking at roughly 50 ticks. And most of that took place from the hours of 4:30 to 6 a.m. So that's Asia kind of selling off. Price rotated back up. This is at 7 o'clock, comes back down here, and this is where we have the bounce. So we have a bounce down here. This is the low. We can see there's a first the bounce that took place. Like a second entry. Price comes down here, pulls back. Now, you don't get a clear signal here. But look at price comes down here, pulls back, moves down lower, and then when the bounces around here. So a place to go short. Now, the problem is that depending where you get in, this is your double top. This is your top right here, not double top. This is your top. Now, you'd like to be able to get your target in here someplace, but remember, this is pre-market, kind of slow moving. Your stop is down low. I think it was worth taking. It depends on where it is limited. Something like that, get in as low as possible. But got your first contract off. You see the price pulled up to this area and then failed right at this time. And this is 9 o'clock. So then we really no place to get in. If you say that this is, you can't really call this a trend per se. So I don't know where the top of this, if this is a range. Don't know if this is going to confirm or not. So price pulls back down here. But when it gets down to this level, you can see immediately it bounced. And that bounce took place where? Right near where we had this double bottom. Here's the first bottom. Well, this is a micro double bottom. Price bounces right here again, and then it bounces here. So this is a nice place to go long. Looking at pricing, like going to the other chart, at least making this high. Now, it does do that, but not until it comes back down. So I was in this trade. Only got my first contract off, and it came back and took me out because I had my stop was at break even. So it kind of rotated down. And then after that, there really isn't anything else, until the DOA report. Because once price gets up here to this area, it starts to capitulate. Price capitulates, and that happened from about, this is about 10 o'clock, I guess. That capitulation took place until the announcement, and this is 10:30. And right at 10:30, price comes back down. And now notice this. After 10:30, this is 10:31. Price moves back up here. This is 10:34. Moves back. This is 10:38. So 40 minutes later, price hasn't moved down, but hasn't moved up either. And so either here or here, you could go long. And the reason is that keep your stop low. I think, below these areas right here, this is it. Now, this one's a little bit more aggressive. So I don't know if you would really want to take this trade right here. I kind of marked it, but only because I felt maybe it was like a breakout pullback. No, that was really questionable. But certainly you can get in low below these areas here with this one. And, this is a trade. Now, when you have an overnight move like this, where is the bottom? Well, you can see we had a higher low here. It did come back and tested this area, bounced right out of here, but this is right at 10:31, 10:32. So, you don't know what's going to, by the time price shakes out, this is 10:38. So by the time price kind of solidifies here, I think this is a better place to go long as you keep your stop low. Maybe not necessarily this low, but at least under these areas right here. And when it starts to move up, maybe even to this area, you want to have it again as an area to kind of before these tops right here. So you want to get your stop here. You want to get your buy-in some down the level. Now, why am I talking about this? I wasn't in on this trade. I was talking to somebody else on Skype. Probably a bad thing to do, but because of that, I was talking to somebody on Skype and I missed this whole move. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking about this being now my whole idea, my reasoning was I was looking at this area here, down here being, let me just switch this up here. This area here being support, this area, this was like maybe slightly higher support. Certainly this area came down low enough to kind of test this area. So I'm thinking that this area is all support along here. Now, when price moves up and pulls back, first pullback fails, second pullback, I think we have enough room to have at least a move of this magnitude, somewhere in that, at least this magnitude. So if you're using this as a stop box, this first move up, first pullback, second pullback, I think that we're going to have at least 15 ticks. That's why I was looking at that. Now, if you get below this, that's great. And, that's this is the kind of trade that I would have taken. And unfortunately, I was talking, I was thinking about it. My mind was distracted as I was typing and blasted right out of there. There was just no way to be in it. And after this move took place, I couldn't hang around anymore. I wasn't in here for any of this. Now, yeah, you could have taken these trades here, and there's some other stuff in here. For instance, like if you look at this area here, price double tops up this area, and spike in channel. But to go short here, that's something to consider. It does form another range in this area. Price moves up, pulls back a couple of times, and I think that you could argue that this right here is the top of that range. This is maybe the top. This is perhaps the bottom of it. Kind of rotates up here like this. Now, it doesn't really revisit up here and then kind of fails off for the rest of the day. Notice where the bottom happens. Comes back down. This is a 230. 52.64 comes all the way back down. This move here pulls all price all the way back down here. So just like a big range. And if you kind of one of the ideas is if you squeeze this down and you back out here, you can see that really it was really pretty tight through here. This is the news. Price springs out higher and then comes back down and revisits this area. So that's really about it. Now, this is the area where I was in, and after this move took place, I wasn't here. So basically, I'm saying you're on your own right in this area because I was gone. I wasn't even around to run the charts at that point in time. So you're on your own with that. After something like this, but just to kind of give you an idea, I think that this, for myself, was not getting in on this trade, not being able to participate on any of this was a bit of a mistake for me. Not paying attention to the chart. I was looking long from off these bottoms here all morning. I can't say for sure, but once price kind of busted up here, I knew that I'd missed the trade, and I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was like, as I said, I was typing, and when price moved up to this area, these little bars here, didn't take any time whatsoever by the time it was up there. Didn't chase it, but let's see. 1037, 1041, 1041.50, 1041.52. This area right here, this sprung right out of here, and I just wasn't participating in it. And these kinds of moves like this, you have to be attentive. You have to be attentive, not attentive. You're never going to see when they're going to happen. But certainly, if you're in low enough, like if you're playing this as a range, and oops, let me just kind of move this in here. If you look at this area as a range and you're getting in low enough for these trades, when this does happen and if it goes out the other side, we have a breakout like this and you're participating in it. And that is really the bottom line. Same thing is true if you're looking short. If you're participating in this range and if this would have happened to break down, then you're in on this trade. And that's where you get your meat and potatoes. That's where you get paid. Same with an area like this. Now, this one I really wouldn't have counted. I mean, you're looking at this is a range up here. It's very tight, and so there's really no. Is price going to head up higher, or head up lower, or head down lower? So this is much more difficult. But as you can see, here's a second entry short right here. If you're limiting in here, if you really are getting more, if you're selling at areas like this, sell here. In other words, this is strength, and price. By the time price moves up here, this is 1044 right here. By the time it actually breaks down, is 17 minutes later, 11:01. So here's 1044, 11:02. So 17 minutes later. So you can see this took 3 minutes to go up here, and then once it starts to capitulate, it moves back and forth. Now you can say that once it gets up, how long is it going to? It's consolidating. It's going to go up high. We're going to have another move of this magnitude. Rotates back down, and you can see that rotation took place. Where does it stop? Stops really at the high right here. That's where it does an about face, gets into a higher range, breaks lower, and then sellers take it down lower after that. So, I mean, like I said, once I missed this area right here, I was pretty much out for the rest of the day. But certainly, if you look at those parameters or some areas here, you probably could have shorted in this area. You could have shorted this one. But we're talking, this is like later, this is just before noon. And had you been on this, now this takes a long time, grinds all the way down, but once it breaks through this, pulls back and then fails. And then this is the last hour and a half. Last hour, we had a move down of about 50 ticks, I believe. 53.24 to 53.63. So it's about 60 over half a dollar. This move down here. So, and from this, it took everything back that we gained right after the DOE report, and so that's it. Anyway, I think the balance of the packages went out for the slow hand method. Sent all that things out today. Get them back in if you're interested, and if you're still interested, for the mindful trading, haven't finalized everybody yet, so you can always kind of put your name in. I'll send you out an application form, and the package itself, mindful trading, slowhand method at gmail.com. That's it for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is Vance. Bye for now.